For the purposes of this course, I'm assuming that you are either an advanced home user of Linux or an intermediate or beginner professional user. So I'm going to assume that you're having no problem installing Linux on a virtual machine. What I'm going to use for this course is an Ubuntu desktop virtual machine running on VirtualBox in Windows. I assume this is the setup that most people are going to be using. I personally use Linux for all my work machines. In most companies, the way you're going to have an Ansible setup, or at least the ones that I've seen, are if you've got an extra security layer, then there's going to be one server that's allowed to run all these Ansible commands on other servers. It'll have, the keys that are accepted from all of your servers or machines that you're going to configure. And then you'll have an Ansible, all your Ansible playbooks and stuff in a Git repository or something. So all of the engineering staff can have the actual Ansible code on their work machines, and then when they want to run stuff, they just SSH into the Ansible server and run the Ansible commands or playbooks from there. Kind of makes sense. For this course, again, our test environment is going to be local. I'm going to be showing it with LXC machines. So what I just recommend you do is, if you've got no testing set up or no infrastructure really, just set up a Linux virtual machine, something like Ubuntu desktop. All the commands are going to work that I use in this course. If you're using that, choose some directory in there, like code, Ansible Control Center, or whatever, and just have that be the sort of central repository of Ansible files and directories that you're going to be using for this course. That way you can also use whichever editor you like, whether that's Vim, Emacs, Sublime Text, Atom, something else. And as a final warning, I would say, of course you can clone the repository that I've made available for this course, which contains more or less all of the code that we end up producing. You can just read along. You can watch the videos and follow along with that, but I really recommend that you don't do that. Type everything out yourself. It's just, you're not going to remember much if you just watch and kind of follow along. You're going to deceive yourself into saying, oh, I understand that, and then when it comes down to actually produce some Ansible configuration management stuff or some orchestration code or deployment code or whatever, you're going to be like, you got to look some stuff up. So don't waste your own time. The course repo is there to refer to after you're done with the course. For now, follow along with me, type everything out yourself, and you're going to just increase your retention by an enormous amount. Okay, so that's it for recommendations and setup. So if you're confused, just install VirtualBox, install an Ubuntu desktop VM, just use that for this course.